Hi, 111.
Right,
Wow! Oh my God, it works.
What was that? Yeah, I was saying.
Told me to go and get headphones.
Probably we were lacking genius in this studio.
Yeah, told me to get headphones.
Yeah, all the pressure of having you on this show today.
Nerves are real.
Right. Debbion, I'm going to ask you, intriguing track you chose there. Can I just ask why that particular Duke Ellington?
Or the Gil Scott Heron. I was thinking about you two and thinking about jazz.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about both of them. I know you've asked me about one, but the Gil Scott Heron track, I love Gil Scott Heron, and everything he does says something, speaks to me. It's about, the culture, the this, the that, the civil rights, really.
Right, yeah. Okay.
And but I love that song because it's kind of upbeat, lighthearted, and it's very. When I was young, and I was really young when I got that album, I used to think, okay, who's Prez and who's Lester Young and who's Billy, and that was like a little education in itself, really. Right. So I love that track. And then the Duke Ellington. Well, recently I just started DJing through. I started with Tony Min, actually, who I know you all know from Leicester.
Oh, wow. We all know Tony Min, yeah.
So he was doing last Friday, and I did it with him using vinyl and lugging all this crap around. And so I kind of got into it, really. But I wanted to play, because Tony's so damn cool, I wanted to sort of be not the antithesis to Tony, but like a kind of a complementary sound, but also some of it was reminiscent back to Leicester Bear Cage days, a million years ago. And I like to be really eclectic in the real sense of the word. So I will play, bloody Cheryl Lynn or Linda Clifford next to that, next to something really contemporary.
Wow.
Tiana Taylor or something like that. Do you know what I mean? So I just play what I like. Yeah. And I like that.
That's great. Can I just say one thing? That what that song actually reminds me of? I don't know if anybody's heard of this. Is Ivy Anderson? Have you heard of Ivy Anderson, the singer that used to be with Duke Ellington? I think that was one of her favourite tracks. Yeah, that's all right. I just wanted to ask. That's all. She's a singer. She's one of his favourite singers.
But I should look her up now.
Yeah. Look up Ivy Anderson. Yeah, she's absolutely wonderful. Ended up as a nurse, but after having a not so good a time towards the end of her stint with Duke Ellington, but he has said that she's one of his favorite singers of all time, Ivy Anderson. Anyway,
yeah. So where in Leicester was he playing before then?
Was who playing? Do you think I'm a footballer?
No. I'm
no. You mean DJ?
Yeah, DJ. I'm not playing.
What happens when you ask old people on your show? I only really did last Friday. I really, really got into it. I like the last Friday LCB.
Right, go on. Yeah.
James runs that, and it's great. It's fun. I've really missed all of that. So I was just getting going before lockdown, and then I kind of put my machine away. I've got to get it out again and remind myself what all the buttons mean. But I intend to start again. It was fun.
Sure.
Yeah. You and Tony Min, that would have been interesting. But yeah. Now let's get back to you, because I'm we're going to that we're going to have to talk about the geniuses that you have birthed. I want to have you on your genius. Where did your genius come from? Where would you say it came from?
I think really it came from a very different place to theirs. Wow, I don't know. It's where we all got it from. It's the idea of being able to express yourself. So I think people of my generation that sort of came through in the 70s and didn't really have a voice. Do you know what I mean? And so I think really it was that really, whether it be dance, singing, whatever, it was about expression. So I didn't really see myself as a singer. That everything sort of happened accidentally, as I think it did back in the day. I think it could. Yeah, not sure if that can happen now. Everything's so planned and organized, and you can see the money. But back in the day, I just sort of fell into things, and I suppose not really understanding everything about what was happening to us in the 70s and how we were perceived, not the way we understand it now. You know, like I keep telling people, I was bloody born woke. You know, I didn't become woke. So you had to kind of navigate what you were dealing with. And for me, it was through the arts and through being creative and doing what I did best, which was to dance. And then I discovered I had a bit of a voice. And that is it for me. My kids took a different route. I think their route came from the fact that both myself and their father felt we had to do it ourselves. We wanted to be more nurturing, more supportive, more proactive. And it was never about having money, although we realize now that a lot of young people that come through, or people come through, have come through because they've got money, or they've come from families that have done that. It wasn't about that for us. It was about using our resources and seeing how far we could let these kids fly.
That's good. Yeah, so speak about the ways you really help them then. Like, yeah.
Okay, so number one, you just don't say no. If they say, I want to do skateboarding, like Zane, my second son, Zane, is into everything. In fact, he was the real catalyst. He wanted to do stuff and then the others would do it. So he wanted to dance, although he's not the dancer.
Right. No,
he took great photographs. He wanted to skateboard. You know, he started playing guitar. He was a very, very much in our family, the child that wanted to try everything and do everything. And we just never said no. So for us, it started really with dance because that was my love. The music didn't really come till later. And I was just always searching for something that my kids could do that I would have wanted when I was their age. So actually, I had to take them out of Leicester to find that. I had to travel to Birmingham.
Really?
Every single week for like 4 years with these kids in the back of the car screeching to a place called Ace Dance and Music, which is very different now. It's brilliant. It's amazing. It was brilliant then, but in a very different way, but still very community. And, you know, I hate to be a cliche, but, you know, when people talk about it takes a village, I've got a village of people that help me raise my kids, you know, really solid people that help me help them and help James help them to nurture their talents. The reason I picked that one was because I always said that Ella Fitzgerald taught me how to sing. Not that I could sing like her, but I'd be singing along to all these Ella tracks, and that was one of them, but not for me. So I know that song. I know the words of that song. It's funny I picked two instrumentals because I love female voices.
Yeah, they're the best, aren't they? They're the best thing in jazz, as far as I'm concerned, the female voice.
Yeah, I agree.
So now, with you talking about Ella Fitzgerald, right? I say one of her mentors. You got to say is whom?
Who?
Mahalia Jackson.
Mahalia, yes. Are we going to jump on talk about Mahalia?
Yes, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, Mahalia's doing well. I think she's listening, actually.
Is she listening?
Yeah.
I'm talking to the mother of the Queen of Soul.
The geniuses are all listening. All three of my kids are listening.
Oh wow!
Thank you, bless them.
The youngest is
around here. No pressure, Rob.
You can't beat us beyond the dome. You know, we're all totally unprepared. But now, listen to this, Debbion.
Yeah.
How did this happen? How is it? How is it in your family? I'm going to say how is it rather than what is it about. I'm going to say how is it in your family?
Yes, Rob. Well put.
Oh, you mean what you mean? You mean like Mrs. Are you trying to say that I'm like Mrs. Jamie's mum and Adenuga?
Yes,
that's the one. Yeah.
I saw that lady, and she had the most creative family in Britain. I thought, no, you ain't.
Exactly.
Spice.
So come on.
Oh, man.
There's a lot of us out there with really talented kids.
Characterize the egos.
Eh?
Characterize the ego or the
Of
ego.
my kids? Of the kids?
Yeah.
Do you know what? This is the thing I tried to say to you about the village and the starting point. The thing with my kids were dance is very different to music anyway. And when they trained with Ace, they were really taught two things I think really important. Well, one was manners and respect, and you know, they were part of the culture, so to speak. But the biggest thing was to be humble, which I think they all are. So that was always really stressed when they were at Ace, that they had to know what they were doing and why they were doing it. And it was also stressed at home. So it was about quality, not so much quantity, not so much just doing everything that everybody else was doing. So we really encouraged Mahalia to play an instrument at a time where you could get into that world, have a record deal, and just be a face.
Right.
We really fought hard for her to do gigs, play an instrument. Hence all the little cookie gigs she used to do, which wasn't very full, but she was very young, fronting the band. And that's what we were doing. And it wasn't unintentional. We knew what we were doing because we've both been in that world before. In terms of Jamal, well, oh my gosh, I don't know what he'd done if he hadn't been a choreographer, because I saw that in him from a very, very young age. And now he's an award choreographer. But I saw it in him before he saw it in him. Zayn is still a big mystery to me on some levels, and very exciting because he's still able to try lots of different things and find different ways of expressing his creativity, whether it be spoken word, poetry, music. He can find that. And so they really excite me, these kids, you know. But I would say that they don't have massive egos, but they do set out to be the best.
I hear that.
And they are the only people I really think that they challenge themselves against. Not each other, but themselves.
I was just about to ask that. Is there any competition between
I don't think so. I think it'd be lovely if they could work together more. I know Mahalia and Jamal are about to embark on a massive project. So I wouldn't say
magnificent, by the way. Have you seen his work?
Okay. Stuff on YouTube.
Jamal is absolutely fantastic. So what's go on.
Yeah. They're about to embark on a really big project that I think they're amazing working together. And that's what I'm saying, because they all did dance together. They're used to working together. They kind of know how each other works. But because they're doing very different things, Mahalia doesn't pretend to be a dancer, though she loves to dance. And neither does Zayn. He's very much spoken word. Jamal's very much dance, and Mahalia's very much singing. Mahalia and Zayn kind of overlap, but in different worlds. So no, I don't think they're competitive with each other. They may put each other's nose out a bit. I think they all want to be good at what they do, but they're not really. Yeah, they're not really competitive. I think they stay away from each other's thing.
That's good.
All right, do you want to play another music before I ask you the next question?
What you gonna play?
Let's play Sky Islands. Yeah.
Oh, that's the last jazz album I bought, and it's
Really?
from the 80s. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so let's play this one right now. Sky Islands.
That is absolutely brilliant choice there, Debbion.
Oh, cool.
Let me ask you something though. I'm gonna get a little bit more serious than I have been up to now. Right. As a black mother navigating your way through this industry, they're you know, what are the ups and downs? Are there ups, which obviously that manifests through your kind of call them children, through your children. But as a black mother now in this industry, can you give an insight into the ups and some of the downs that you've had to navigate your way through?
I think it's the same with everybody, really. Those that, if people don't see it, don't feel it, that's cool. But those of us that see it and feel it, for me, it's that thing about the most dangerous place for me is in your imagination. Okay. And so when it's just recognizing that people are very quick to see you in terms of those stereotypes: the angry black female, the Rottweiler, the strong woman, all of those stupid bloody stereotypes that actually don't help you, don't allow you to have moments of weakness. They don't allow you to be wrong, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So, and then having to teach your children about all of that, and at the same time teach them about shadeism and colorism, and that, yeah, you're going to get this shit, but you're not going to get it as bad as your cousin because your cousin's dark. So all of that stuff. And then on top of that, saying all of that exists, and now you have to stand on top of it and just be you. Wow. It's like a lot of mixed messages that we have to give our kids. People used to talk about the talk, but it's more than the talk. It's all the mixed messages. It's saying, know this, know that, but still be you. You have to know all of that to start at the same place where you can just be you. So with Mahalia, this idea of putting people, I heard other dual heritage singers say, I don't want to be put in a box, I don't want to be R&B, and fight it. Mm-hmm. And I suppose with our daughter, we were just like, well, that's what you are. That's exactly what you are. Be proud of it. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to trying to fight everything to the point of actually being nothing. So it was giving our kids that kind of strength, that sort of knowledge of who they were. So I know a lot of people won't agree with this. My kids may not still agree with this, but we saw ourselves as a black family, even though my children were dual heritage, because we felt that's how they would be seen. And we felt that was a strength and not a weakness. Does that make sense?
Of course, yeah.
It's like we're navigating everything, but before, my husband says, Jim talks about gripping self. You have to know who you are.
Yeah. Who will be on next week, by the way?
Who?
We're going to talk.
Is he talking to you? Okay. Yeah. So it is about knowing who you are and knowing what you're about. But we navigate everything. I mean, I'm kind of just skating over it because it's in schools, it's in industries, it's in shops, it's everywhere. I mean, I've got a big, tall 13-year-old here at the minute, and I'm very careful about him going to the corner shop. I'm very careful about telling him to watch the people watching him and all that stuff. And I shouldn't have to do that. But I think all young people get watched anyway. Yeah. But I just need, it's about being well armed, really. Not being defensive, but being well armed, just to understand. Yeah. But also to know all the good things in your life, all the privileges you have, all the support you have. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Well, obviously the support has been positive.
Yeah.
From my side, because it looks, because of the success I see that brought about with your family. So,
But you have to avoid the stereotypes.
Yeah.
I felt like I was fighting a lot of people, but I have to say, especially with Mahalia, if you put you take that as read, you put it all aside and you think, actually, she's had a really brilliant, supportive team. But sometimes you have to manage up. You have to teach people how to treat you and your kids.
Yeah.
And then once you've done that, you're on even keel and you can move ahead. But, none of this is possible without talent, real talent. And I think talent wills out anyway.
Yeah, that's where it starts.
Yeah.
Talent, got to be some talent there in the first place,
If people want to get into an industry and they're just not, it's not really for them, it's like pushing water uphill, if it ain't you, it ain't you. I've had a lot of people ask me, how did you do that? Mahalia and I set out on a journey to meet Ed Sheeran. It's a very interesting story for me because it was a joke. you know, she was crying about wanting to be on some TV program that I didn't want her to go on because I didn't think it was the right thing to do. So we went out to meet Ed Sheeran, and on the way, like Chicken Licking and Goosey Lucy, you know them stories from when you was at school, we met and we just kept meeting different people. But at the same time,
how did you meet all those people then?
Oh my, me baby. She wanted to meet Ed Sheeran. I was like, oh,
through genius, I would have said. I would have answered that through my genius.
Do you know what? It was a game. It was a real game.
Okay.
So with her father putting something on SoundCloud, and then me being nosy and saying, oh, I know. Ed Sheeran writes to the woman called Amy Wadge. Okay, I've seen her at the YMCA. Let me write to her. So I wrote to her publisher, and I wrote to her agent, and her agent passed the message on. The publisher didn't, but her publisher said, oh, can I meet this Mahalia? So she didn't pass her message on, but she wanted to meet Mahalia. So my ears are pricking up thinking, oh, you must think my kid's really good then, because we sent us the music. So it was that sort of stuff. And then we did finally meet Amy, and Amy wanted to write with May, and they sort of fell in love with each other, and it was great. And then Amy took us to meet Ed Sheeran. But by the time we'd met Ed and he tweeted about Mahalia, there was a lot of people interested in her.
Wow.
Okay. From different. So she put something online, and I think I can't remember who picked it up. A blogger who's now on the radio. I can't remember his name. Uche picked it up, and then he got a lot of response. So again, it was the talent. And even though we may not have believed it or seen it fully, people were coming back at us and saying, "Oh my God, she's amazing," and that really was very exciting because it was layered. Everything. I'm sure for Mahalia, it's sheer hard work now, but at the time,
especially after this break, especially after this break,
definitely. But it was it was a lot of fun. We're not involved now so much, but she still comes back and runs things by us, and she's ever so funny. If she thinks she's written something we're not going to approve of, she warns us. Or if she's going to wear something she thinks is a bit too raunchy,
remember that time I had to ask her permission to like something.
Absolutely.
On Facebook. Remember that?
Baby. That's my baby. But then that's the other side of it. Jamal's the opposite, where he's like, nah, none of your business, and he'll put the phone down. So, they kind of teach you how to parent them when they get older. They teach you what kind of parent they need you to be. So we're just voyeurs now. We're just watching and seeing what great things can happen.
Well, it's Leicester's Own. Yeah. I love it.
There you go. Absolutely.
I love the words in that song.
Speak about that song for us.
Well, I mean, for me, remember, I'm hearing it when everybody else is hearing it, or maybe a week before. But the line that says, think you know me, but you never made me. I just love that because I think everybody. Well, I can certainly live by that, and I think Mahalia has been sort of sharing that sentiment for a long while. It's like, apart from, I think she really feels like she did this. She made herself. She pushed herself through. So, at any point where I may have said, if you don't like it, give it up, or do you want to stop? Never. Even from when she was a baby, she knew what she wanted, and she always knew, and she drove it herself. And it's kind of interesting because in the industry they talk about being your own driver and blah blah blah, and they kind of say a lot of stuff that actually don't make any sense. It's just rhetoric. Mahalia is always the driver. Even when James and I were in front of her, protecting her until she got to a certain age, she was the driver. And so she's in fact, with all my kids, they've taught me a lot, if that makes sense.
I love that.
Taught you a lot.
Yeah, that education's two ways. So first you're telling them, you're pushing them out there. They're coming with their own thoughts. They don't always agree with you. They're bringing it back, and they're making you stop and listen. And I would say, they all do that for me, really, even if I at first fight against it. Do you know what I mean? So
I love that.
I love that sentiment because I think it's her kind of just saying, everybody get lost. You know what I mean? I'm going to
absolutely come through in her music, because all I hear in Mahalia's music is Mahalia. I don't hear anything else. I don't hear anyone else.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
and that and for me, that is, you know, coming from
that's it, isn't it? That's
the music I listen to, coming from that, you know, that is the Billie Holiday, that is the Mahalia Jackson, that is the April Waters,
Today.
that is the Ida Cox. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, I hope she's listening to that. Yeah,
you know, that is it.
She's the lineage.
You know,
I totally agree. And because I'm watching them all, this is what I'm now seeing with my son's choreography, which you have to watch more of, is that again, he has gone through a whole system, a whole industry, and is now saying, I'm doing me. I'm doing what I want to do. Cool. And I for me, I think we've been successful in that respect.
Exactly.
They're all the same. They do themselves.
That's great. Let's end on your music.
Speak
about your music and
1982.
Yeah.
When I was with 4AD. Okay, there's a play breakdown. That's probably the best one to play.
And for those that are listening, this is the birth of the genius that we're hearing from this family. Yeah. This is where it all birthed from.
Lovely sounds. Yeah, the 80s, man. That's taking me back.
It's been lovely having you on, though. Yeah,
wee baby.
Yeah, you know.
Thank you for having me on.
Through that, I can hear why Mahalia is so brilliant, and the rest of your siblings are so brilliant as well. Well done.
Thanks,
you know,
guys.
You're gonna have to come back and join us. You know,
I will.
Be here in the studio, talk to us. You know,
really appreciate your time, Dave. Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Cool. Marcus, say hi to your mum.
I will do. Definitely. Cool. Thanks.
Real radio, ladies.
Real radio. Raw.
Well, there you go. Unprepared. It's been great. Honestly, you know,
it's been all right.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right. That's all we have for today. And we'll see you next week, same time on Radio 2 Funky, Jazz Beyond the Dome. Myself, Marcus Joseph, and Rob Charles. Have a lovely week ahead and weekend. Love.